Uh, Hello, everyone. This is to Stardate 1/7 2023, and it is 2:32 p.m. I think it's Saturday. I'm pretty sure it's Saturday. Eastern Seaboard, Earthside. So I haven't had any real um, activity um, paranormal wise. So, and I haven't gone live, but I am going to check the light switch again because, um, yeah, it could be the building. So I'm just making note of it. The only reason that it was, yes, it was very quick. The succession of how it happened, and there were other, yes, there was other activity other than just the lights, and so you know also for sleep researchers, have anecdotal um, uh, stories. I tried one night to video me sleeping. Sleep research. And so there's one of those, but I also describe symptoms. And, more and more as I've, gone through the steps of doctors and getting tests, and as certain symptoms have built up, um, I, the sleep disturbance is likely, Parkinson's, but a Parkinsonism. If people aren't aware, there are different types of Parkinsonisms and movement disorders. So, um, mine is some sort of Parkinsonism, but it's more likely one type than another, but you have some kind of Parkinsonism. And another reason that I do this is so that I can track symptoms, and I say things out loud, but I also say things in case I need to mark a time, or for any paranormal or anomalous researchers, which, yes, I do. There are anomalies that, just in studying as I go through life sometimes. So, anomalous research is important, and so that we can get the best handle on how we as humans should proceed with each other. So, but I am not particularly paranoid. I got to be honest, and right. So there are a lot of things that interest me, but I'm just a natural kind of observer kind of person, and so um, observational research, especially longitudinal, is kind of more my style, and that can include any number of things, including this, which this YouTube channel is also kind of explaining what I've been doing, because I'm making a documentary now, so that maybe it'll help someone. Or, if I can't do much about it, maybe somebody who sees something can. Right. Also, I leave it open for a conversation, for anyone who's at home, uh, because of illness, or just, yes, for whatever reason, and you don't maybe leave your house that much. It's, it can be, there are certain types of people, it's just wonderful. Okay. But, more often than not, it can wear you pretty badly. And I'm sure that there are people who were very seriously tested during COVID lockdowns, and so, you know, I'm I will say that, Earth, humans, we all went through that together. I mean, maybe there may be some small tribes living where, no one ever goes, who doesn't even know about COVID, but for the most part. And so we are all still trying to find our footing. And maybe the reason that I'm say things that, might in text seem, oh, you're another one of those hippies. No, the hippies better get involved. Quit smoking dope. Okay, right. And yeah, get up off your asses and don't be trying to be ski bums on people's property in Vermont. Okay, thank you. Yes, that property was sold. I just don't care is why. I was trying to find a way to give it to the Green Mountain National Forest. But, pushy people and lawyers and people who only care about themselves got involved, sadly. So, only so much I can do. But, in turn, yep, at some point, it will become an issue. So, I'm not too worried about it. It sucks, but so I try and explain this very quickly at the beginning, just to give you an idea. I am also clergy, and I did have a card with me, but I have to give a report to someone tomorrow during the day, and I can't. Yeah, I think I took that card and put it with them, but it's a minister. If you don't know, yeah, it's just someone who ministers to people, who comforts, or is just around to be someone to talk to, or who prays with them, or who, yes, can help and talk about, when people wonder, okay, God's being an asshole, of course, I am no exception, people. This is truth, okay? But a lot of it is just how we perceive and maybe read others, all right? And it can be difficult. So uh, communication for some people, just in general. But I have just seen too much human wreckage to be really sit around quiet, you know, uh, because there's some things I could say about, people in my life who have passed away, you know, oof, right. At certain points, you just kind of, if you stick with them a little bit, sometimes you just kind of know, like, oh, I see. Ooh, you got a freaking heavy load and you don't know what to do. And I'm not really sure either, but you see what I mean? And so when it comes to clergy, when it is, I mean, I love God and I have accepted the great Holy Christ and Holy Spirit. And so that's one that is three. And the perfect one is three, and perfect three who's one. Sometimes if you say it the other direction, it helps people who may have some difficulties, okay? Because maybe the way they learned, okay? Or maybe the way that they perceive. Sometimes saying the same thing in a different way makes all the difference. And that is, perfect for coaches of any kind for sports, but it's also for people in a family and for people in a community to understand, can we all try anyway? A little bit, just once a day, right? It seems all peaceful. And I got to be honest with you. I mean, I really would, quite literally, if I really needed to, snatch a hippie by the freaking ponytail and be like, yeah, you're coming with me for just a few minutes. Okay. Right. Because, people got to save your asses when you're all stupid. And yeah. And it's very hard to reconcile some of that, everyone, to be truthful. Anyway, I do put things up for sleep research, and uh, it's if you watch this on, I try not to edit anything. So anybody research wise, paranormal anomalists, anyone who runs across this, because anybody who wants to, practice looking at video, if you're uh, want to be, maybe an investigator, paranormal investigator, or you just have time, because there's some things that I can't do it. I can't go as quickly as I used to because of the Parkinsonism. So um, maybe there is some paranormal activity here and there that I didn't notice. And I do leave notes. I've been trying to go through that, but I'm expecting pretty much it would take me a full year to have, all video seen and for me looked at just for the documentary. So if I need something, I download it, and I cut and edit that. This is all original. I never ever edit any of it. Um, so I mention these things because uh, sometimes writing for me, you know, well, it doesn't happen as often, but when it does happen, if I'm holding a pen, there are times I put the pen down and it like my hand doesn't want to write. My brain knows how to write, but my hand hesitates, and my handwriting is getting worse. So everything that I can do video, and so there's a bunch of goodies in here for a variety of people, but today is mostly about Parkinsonisms. Yeah, I know people jump on and they're like, oh no, I think I, but anyway, so neurological disorders can happen for a variety of reasons, and um, you know, it there's a possibility for me that it could be maybe one other thing. However, over time, with the way my symptoms have progressed, and how other people with Parkinson's who have social media accounts or whatever I can watch and see, yeah, I kind of have some very similar characteristics to some people and who have diagnoses of Parkinson's. So good news. Hey, but I'm cancer free, baby. It's the first time in 20 years I can say that. I'm going to stay that way. Cancer free is me, but that's another reason that mm, other illnesses and treatments and other types of medical situations that I had, stress, or yeah, post traumatic stress, just yep. I mean, yeesh. And so I need to control my environment as best I can, anyway, because that way it helps me, yeah, recover more quickly, and then I can start using, once I get to a certain point, coping mechanisms that work for me. But I mention some here and there all the time, little tips throughout, on this YouTube channel, and I think there's a handle. I think it's at Creasesinger of Earth. It might be from Earth, but I think I put of Earth. I think I did, but try both. I'll check. There's a lot on my mind. I have medical procedures. I have an apartment inspection, and um, some wackiness with my bank account and people, right, who may or may not be catfishing. I mean, I trust God, so it's just, yeah, well, I'm gonna have to have a heart to heart. Yeah, and I'm gonna go there with hockey face on, right? And I'll be prepared. Paperwork. Oh yeah, to the PNC Bank. Okay, now I have several times mentioned that I'm grateful to the PNC Bank in Elkton, and yes, the one in Jarrettsville. I mean, a couple times they've helped me and they understood, and so right, and so for that I still stay with them. You understand? But wow, they did not handle something properly, and they lied right to my face. And oh, and then they want to try and right, like, yeah, immediately. Well, usually we get checks like this. It's fraud. Well, maybe it's not fraud. Okay, right. Like, anyway, I have negative 3,900 something in my checking account. So 3,000 something. I can't handle debt. That's post traumatic stress trigger. So, yep. I mean, if somebody's trying to kill me, if somebody's trying to push my fucking limits, then you need to stop. That's just all I can say. But whatever, you know. I have walked right up to people holding a firearm and looked them in the eye and said what I needed to say. Yeah, I'm one of those crazy ones, like that. Right. I have Parkinson's. You know what I'm saying? God shoot me. Yeah. It does get to be like that, folks. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not tolerating some things these days, really. So I'm at least admitting it and pain. I have unbalanced legs, my hips, and I'm all out of alignment, whack, things like that. Sports, knees, joints, and hips for a long time being active. And so, yes, I have sprained things, fallen down things. I don't even know. I've done dangerous things sometimes. Yes, And this is why I will like tell people, I'm like, wait, no, don't do it that way. Yeah, I probably could have died numerous times. So, no, don't. It's too much excitement for most people. But got that kind of sciatica situation every so often, pinch nerve, and it's in the back, and then it shoots all the way around to the front and goes past down my groin, my hip, and then electric right down to my toes, and then like hot pain, and then after that it's like throbbing for right. So that's why I sometimes stay indoors as well, because if I want to go into somewhere, I want to be sensitive about people's noses, because I made my own rub, uh, muscle rub, and to me it works as well as or better than biofreeze. And when you're on a budget, sometimes make some at home, get some. Right, so I have a tub of it, and it works. Like it penetrates, it works, it clears your sinuses. It's pretty awesome, and it certainly helps me sleep. But I do smell like a koala bear. Yes, I reek of menthol. So I do. Oh, and so I am having, some difficulty. I'm doing what I can not to have any kind of surgery. But anyway, some days, I mean, a bit more pain, and I don't know, I get a little bit more snippy. And so I try to tell people, like, well, you're going to get snippy. I'm in a lot of pain. Yeah, this like, I get breakout pain that hits a 10, drops me. Now I can tell you that I don't think. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you could watch a National Hockey League game and some of these fellas. There was somebody I don't remember. I think it was Detroit Red Wings, and I want to say like Bertuzzi, or I don't know, but somebody who was either friends with him or it was him something about oh, this guy's got the pain tolerance of a dead animal. And yeah, well, there's all kinds of reasons to fall in love with ice hockey. Yeah, like I like that. I don't. Yeah, like these days, no. And so, breakthrough pain for me will drop me straight to the floor. Yep. So, I it's it gets I get pissy, and I try so hard not to do that. But there are times when, yeah, I've gotten good at doing certain type of like in-home exercises and doing heel toe walks whenever I go anywhere or in the apartment, because it's like a long apartment, so I have this like track I can try and do heel toe, keep myself in balance and all these other kind of things. I don't know what I was getting at, but I have an inspection. I have doctor's appointments. I have wait, yeah, I'll do that. I have to change how I get my medication. July 26th with John. This will be helpful. Hey, let's see now. Sometimes, it is like when you're cleaning up and straightening up, it's like, do I really need this? And, you think, maybe not. And then you find out like 4 days later, crap, I could. But sometimes it goes the other way for you, too. So today happened the other way. This is why. Don't forget, 988 in the United States of America. If you start feeling like you're about ready to like crash or crash and burn, or you feel like somebody just like ruined your life and you can't even think with your mind, 988 before it's too late. Please, okay? You can walk into like, yes, the police department or fire station and say, hey, I don't have a phone. Can you call 988? I'm having a freak out. Okay? Because sometimes 911, 911, yeah, is not always as equipped, but that helps too. Okay? I'm not kidding. It sucks, people. Dude, I don't look happy about it sometimes, but it's just the way it is. Uh, yeah, especially high pain days. Yep, and pinched nerve. Yes, and there are certain ways I sit, and then it just shoots down, so I get stuck in a position. So this morning I was stuck for about an hour in one position, um, trying to talk to Supermax, the hamster. I am bound and determined to get him uh, gone viral. It will be good news. The reason that I always put Elton, Maryland, or I try to put Elton, Maryland, is just anybody runs across this is around or from Elton. You see me around, you can call me Dr. Lueth or Pastor or Mia, but make it one of those three, please. Okay. Well, my name's not Mary, though. It never has been. Or Marie. It never has been. I try to get everybody's names right. I don't always. Yeah. So I appreciate anybody who watches this, but it's like I said, just this is kind of like ongoing research. So I do mention parameters. Sometimes I'll mention, like today it's 44 degrees. Sometimes I put it in here instead of, because the Parkinsonism writing is getting harder. And so I use this video I do live because anybody I know can stop in and say hello. And there are people I haven't talked to in a long time, but this kind of thing. So for the Parkinsonism, this is coming in handy because the writing is just getting harder. Um, that way, but it's also another reason I do things live, just share it, and it's sort of like anecdotal, and I can make a video over time lapse to, yeah, show doctors if I need to what kind of progress or what they see, when I need to, and also how I can compare, what it was like. And I try and describe symptoms and sensations for a lot of reasons. I am a scientist. Apparently, I'm very amusing, which is very good news. I'm glad. I amuse myself sometimes. Like, yeah, sometimes it's not good though. I got my doctorate, so I'm now a doctor, not a medical doctor, but yeah, and ever since people are ask me these very everyday questions. I'm getting to the point where it's like, I'm too absent-minded, professor. This is no good. I don't give a crap. Right. No good. Nope. I don't like the ivory tower. I don't know. They fell asleep at the wheel. I don't know what happened, but yeah, I'm a little more down to earth than other people. Hence, I'm short. I I appreciate that almost everybody on earth goes through some kind of struggle. Okay. And, in one place in the world, something that's not a struggle in another place is, a struggle. So it's always okay to ask for help. There is no reason why asking for help would be an issue. That's that's what means you're strong. See, people say, "Oh, don't ask for help. You're a weak." No, you're smart and you're strong if you ask for help. See, I get tired of that. Oh, you don't want to be strong. So no. Okay, you got to think of yourself. You got to think of others. Okay, yes, that is strength. When you know you need help, you should ask. Okay, sometimes you don't know who or where, but at the very least, you can seek it. And it's important sometimes to try and think about it that way and just remember that just a hot second. Because it can actually help, in decision making, brief hesitation, and other kind of things. So, yeah, I'm having such a laugh at myself today because I'm really really tired. I walked uh, quite a ways yesterday, and without my cane, every other, and I hadn't expected it. So I got rubber legs going on today, and wobbly, like ow, 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 ow. So I do muscle rub, and that is one thing about having alcohol in the house. Isopropyl alcohol, at two different strengths, 90, and then I think there's like a 70 or I don't know, but because it's really great for helping with pulling heat out of you, right? So if you have like hot sore muscle or any hot something that is, yes, so let's hope it's not like a compound fracture. Jeez. Yeah, then yeah, make sure that person is unconscious. Like that would be the first priority. Like, oh, don't feel this, don't feel this. Yeah, oh God. Yeah. So I ugh, but just an everyday home use. There are things that just are so helpful just to happen. That's one of the uses of isopropyl alcohol. It helps also with fevers. Put some on cotton and yeah, it helps pull that heat out of you and can lower your temperature. And in some cases, it could save life. Okay, I don't know about doing it with little kids, but not newborns. I doubt it, or any of that. But use your good discretion with this kind of stuff. I am very uh, kind of optimistic about a couple things, which is good news. Um, but I'm scheduled for a procedure, and uh, I have more delicate immune system these days, and what my body can tolerate is much less than even like 5 years ago. So yeah, um, I I get bummed sometimes. I'm straight honest with people, and so that's another reason that I leave this up here, is in case somebody runs across it and they're in a situation and they're just like having trouble and everything just seems blah, being in the house all the time, especially when you're used to being outside a lot. I mean, very active person, in and out and all the other kind of things. So yeah, that has slowed down, and so trying to just work with that is what I've been doing. So that takes some practice and some work. I'm far less active in terms of, yes, doing certain things, but I put tips and hints. I mean, if even if you don't have a lot of money, you can go to the $1.25 store or Goodwill, or maybe your best friend's mom has a whole bunch of stuff in the right neat things in the attic, and right, like do like shabby chic on the cheap, you know room change, right? I mean, yeah, it can make a big difference. Maybe even just like change the color of the curtains or something, and having these kind of things uh, can help help one be as sane as possible. Trying to stay in the house. I, I need to. So I've just out of like necessity. It's just been kind of now pressured into me, and I'm getting a little tired of that. But I do need to be really careful, and get Meniere's disease, which I mean that could be ear problem. So I don't want. Speaking of which, yep, if it's infected, it hurts to the touch. That will happen occasionally. Um, it's usually this ear, and I can usually, it's like just on the, it's right at the outside. So that way I can treat it myself, but not with hydrogen peroxide, with alcohol. Mhm. Yeah, alcohol is the better of the two for a lot of reasons, but yes, there's some maybe microorganisms that, yes, some people don't want to hear about living in their body. But anyway, yeah, that could be damaged, and it is actually right. It goes after, you know, yep, certain types of living material, which could also cause you damage. So, just a tip. I, of the two, choose alcohol. Alcohol is in what's people use for swimmer's ear, and it dries things out. And that one is the safer of the two if you're going to use it near your ear. Um, and it stings for less time, less amount of time, if you're worried about that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I appreciate anyone who stops by and says hello, and anyone who wants to write in the comments, please do. I do just ask that the reason this is a 21 and over, okay, worldwide, 21 and over, I must insist, is because, all right, there are some people who can have, decent conversations and not get to the point where, there's a bunch of this internet anger and lots of bad words and people threatening each other, death and all that. It gets a little out of hand sometimes. So it's why it's just mature conversation and that kind of stuff. And some of this may be really boring to people. But I do appreciate anyone who ever does stop by, and anybody's got paranormal stories. I mean, if you want to, okay, I will only consult. So for the paranormal research community, I mean, I'm around. And I mean, yes, at Creasesinger, Dr. Lueth. I mean, I can be found online. I keep, you know, I sometimes this does not always pick up signal. So leave a message if using my phone. But also email singing from the crease at Gmail, and all that is underneath. I'm only willing to consult. Okay, I'm like a sort of a combo. It's hard to explain, but definitely sensitive empath, right? Yeah, I mean, there's some intuitive that happens all the time with me that I'm used to. But sometimes everybody I can see beyond. Like I can sometimes, okay, right. But I don't necessarily go looking as much. But there are also times when I can tell when just a human child they're not as good as covering things up as adults are with their face and their actions. So if there's something the social services needs to know about, also I can pretty much tell if a child has been coached. See what I mean? And maybe there is a harm to the child, but it isn't a spirit. Uh, but psychologists also, I have a say there. I am a doctor. Yes, very, you know, long time it took me, but I'm grateful that it is now accomplished. There are things that on investigations I'm sure people see. Some may want attention, of course, and then try and fake things and do. I mean, it is, but they still need help. You understand, right? It's just different kind of help. So if you can get in their house, you see, you get the eyeball on with the cameras, and so you got evidence. See what I mean? Yeah, they might let me in. I'm just a paranormal investigator, consultant. Right, but only with children, okay? Because sometimes it could be the child's been threatened and the child doesn't know how to process. And so in psychology, there is a term called behaviors, okay? They manifest, you understand? Right, within a person. And so the child may manifest a safe, being, a safe person, a safe, invisible friend who they can tell. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff that can be leveled in. So I do think that, scientific oriented psychologists knows, yeah, that's the thing. See, even if you're not getting certain activity, you still might be helpful to these people. Okay. Right. So, I mean, that's pretty much just, I don't have equipment. So, no, not really. I mean, I had a spirit box for a little while. I can usually sense things. There's things I can just sense, but I can't be open all the time. And there's some people, someone forcing an issue right now. I just need that to stop for a couple days. And trying to find sources of some things is not easy. So I don't usually make myself available in this way, but I did this time just out of kindness. Sometimes I can pick up on things. Just Right. But I am someone who trusts God, and I'm not gonna give anyone a definition of God. Okay. Uh, Religion is actually just a word used to describe something that you do every day. Should be brush your teeth. Like, even if you live in a hut in the middle of nowhere, right? Extend your life by a great deal. Oh no, there's fluoride in there. You won't be able. Oh God, Almighty, give me the patience I need to just keep going, please. Okay, like so. Also, how my voice is doing. There's a little bit of paralysis here. There's a little bit of paralysis down my stomach. Yeah, we call it. Yep, intestinal duodenum, all that crap. So, I can get a little more depressed sometimes than I would have maybe 10 years or so ago. But like I said, there's techniques, and one of them is erasure. Yep, I'm telling you, it, like, I could understand a few situations where no probably wouldn't help, but most situations on Earth, if you play erasure just for a little while and hang around it, no, you can't. You can't, like, be totally crabby and sad and pissy. That's just not possible. And we'll find out if it is or not. Anyway, all right, any of it, right? It doesn't matter. It's, yeah. So there are other things that make you laugh, and try and recognize coping mechanisms and how you react to things too, so that you kind of have a better understanding of yourself and how to communicate as best you can with another. And so I appreciate everyone. You know, Prayers for Elkton, Maryland, that I'm included. Prayers for the Moran Gordon family. They have been heavily burdened. And as a minister, I'm hanging around and I'm listening, and I'm, keeping an eye, and I'm praying, so that's kind of what I've been concentrating on, because that family's taken a lot of hits in very little time. And yeah, so uh, everyone just once a day, right? If you like routine, you just put it in there when you brush your teeth, or when you're on your toilet, or squatting in the, I don't know, whatever anybody does. Yes. All right. So, I guess I don't know what I was going to talk about other than that. I write it down sometimes, but today I decided to go like off the cuff, shoot from the hip. All right. Well, anyway, my name is Dr. Mia Lueth, and anything on this YouTube channel that's listed as educational can be used for free. You do need to credit me, and you may not change the meaning. Okay. But if there's anything that you know would help someone hear in plain, clear English, or you have a friend, or you yourself, or you're trying to put some kind of educational thing together, this is educational material worldwide. Simply, they need the credit, you understand? And you may not change the meaning. And if you want to use it, go ahead. But if you don't know if it's, just contact me. All right. But this is free to copy and right. I know there's some people are gonna give me, like, I know, whatever. That's fine. Yes, like, you give me like horns. No, I want to look scary. Yeah. Oh, by the way, go Jets! Ice hockey, Winnipeg. Go Jets. No matter what, just go. And help each other get back up and dust each other off. Okay, that's the most important thing, actually. So I love you, Winnipeg. Exactly. I'm a satellite office of the yeah over here in Maryland, and yeah, I know, and it's all good. I represent. I got stuff hanging in the window. Yeah, there's an ice hockey fan around here. That's why NHL. Hi, NHL people, right? Get a hold of the goalie. Yeah, the goalie in Philadelphia. Yeah, in charge. Yeah, right, yeah. Let that one know. Yep. Get some hockey outreach in Elkton, Maryland, because I know there's Phillies or Flyers fans out here. They're just few and far between, and they need to have a reason to get to know each other. Right. Well, they got outreach people over there at the Flyers. Yes, I'm sure of it. But a goalie's in charge, so exactly. It's like, hello, goalie friend. Yeah, just quietly, goalies, just softly and gently, just start taking over. Just anyway, goalies rule. uh, love is love, and people are people, and sometimes that's hard to keep in mind. Take care, everyone. All right.